Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Real World Blockchain. And today, as you have recognized him, I have as a guest the CEO of Web3 Enabler, Alex Hochberger. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hey, Gautier, it's so good to be back.
All right. So you have quite a lot to announce. Please tell us what's happening in the world of Web3 Enabler, what's happening with the app blockchain payment, and what's happening regarding connection with other blockchains.
Ah, yeah, it has been a whirlwind of the last few months. I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to come back here. Obviously, we put out several new releases of blockchain payments. The latest version, 2.7, has brought Solana into the fold. Prior to that, we added several more EVM-based networks. We also added Tron, which was an exciting one. We're kind of one of the few corporate players that works in the US and EU that supports the Tron network. So we're really excited for that. That brings us up to 8 kind of core wallet types: the EVM, the Solana, the Tron, the XRP, Bitcoin, Doge, Litecoin, and I'm sure I just offended whoever I forgot. But so we've got 3 UTXO wallets, we've got the EVM, we've got Solana,
Wow.
and Tron. So it's an exciting time. We feel we've got all the major players for payments now covered.
Wonderful. And so regarding the other features of Web3 Enabler's blockchain payments, what's new?
All right, so in the 2.x branch, we've mostly been adding blockchains, including all the UTXO side. So that we feel is kind of feature complete now with all of the blockchains added and supported. So we're very excited for that. We also added the payables option, and that's for tracking outgoing payments. So we've made it very simple if you're paying your vendors out of Salesforce to be able to have them connect their wallets so you can track, make payments, track it all. So inbound and outbound is now really simple on the base app. We also released blockchain payments for Sales Cloud, which is a small free add-on to the existing platform, and that connects the order and opportunity object. We have planned releases for Commerce Cloud, Experience Cloud, Workflow Management, basically little add-ons for different parts of the Salesforce ecosystem, so that these are all free add-ons so that your business flow naturally into those parts of the Salesforce CRM, whichever part you're using.
Wonderful. And so, how do you envision the next clients, the next salve of clients? How do they interact with each other, with their customers, their respective customers, using our app, blockchain payments?
So yeah, with blockchain payments now, when you are sending either the order or the opportunity, depending on your business flow, if you require cash before you complete a sale, then you do it in the opportunity. If it is after payment, you do it in the order. So that connects those in, and then a QR code and a URL for payment is auto-generated when you create a payment request, and that's easily set up with a flow and organized for your business. So that's super exciting. I'll tell you, and then we also have for the outbound payments, we have, as we said, with the payable. So I'll tell you how we use it internally. It's fantastic. We get paid in stable coins routinely, and we just send over a payment request, and the network supported, and we get paid on the stable coin of their choice, and it's up to us to off ramp. And then on the outgoing payment, this has been very popular. We have cut down on international wires entirely because we're routing it all through stablecoin payments. So it's truly fantastic to be able to just quickly onboard and make payments globally all over the world. Mostly on the Ethereum network, but we've been doing a variety. But there's more. Uh, we have started development on the 3.x branch of blockchain payments. And with the version 3, we're really focusing on our wallet technology. For those that don't know, we worked with Circle and their USDC grant program to develop the Circle wallets, then known as programmable wallets, but now known as Circle wallets, to build those natively into Salesforce, and we've got that working. We're also doing a similar project for Cardano right now, so it's really exciting. But what we're planning on with the Circle wallets is that adds a variety of networks in there that you can manage entirely within Salesforce. The other big change we have for the 3X series is we partnered with Bridge, now known as Stripe Crypto, and they are a player for doing onboarding and offboarding in the US and EU market. So one of the things that's really exciting that's coming out of 3.0 is what we call a liquidation wallet. And what a liquidation wallet is you can create for stablecoins legal in your jurisdiction, a variety of auto off ramps. So imagine, if you will, you want to allow people to pay you in stable coins, but you don't want to manage the process. So I could pay someone a few points to go and do it, but that takes away the savings of using blockchain. So instead, you connect your bank account via SEPA in Europe or ACH or Wire in the United States, and say which coins and networks you're willing to accept. And we will generate a series of addresses for you, one for each, and they will all get folded into one virtual wallet. So now when you go to send a payment request and you authorize it to come to your liquidation wallet, you don't ever have to handle the crypto. You don't off ramp it. If the payment comes today on a Wednesday, every Thursday afternoon, everything is liquidated. And if you're using SEPA or wires, it's an instantaneous payment. And if you're using ACH, it's a next day payment. So it's basically a merchant account for crypto. So we're really excited. You could have everyone, they pay in and at very low fee off ramp. And this is 50% faster than an American credit card at 80% smaller fees and no risk of chargeback. So we think this is a very clear win for any company that is accepting credit cards.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's great. And so this raises a question. In the early days, we were thinking that the typical client, the typical user of blockchain payments app would be perhaps a honest business owner from a country outside of the Euro or the US zone. But apparently now we basically have all the means to help also the people who want to be paid in stable coins, even in these, they have an advantage in using our app, even in the US and EU zone, right?
Right. So one of the things as we roll out the programmable wallets and the liquidation addresses and the on ramps and the off ramps all natively, this is what's really exciting. Let give you an example use case. You need to pay out $50,000 in overseas vendors on Friday. Currently, you'd have to send 5 international wires. Instead, you could have your vendors log in and they could connect their account. Maybe it's, with an auto off ramp with the liquidation wallet. And again, we're currently with Bridge, but USDC Access, which is Circles, will bring several other countries on board as soon as they come out of beta. So we've got lots of new, flows to be able to make this work. So let's say you have developers in Colombia or Brazil or Mexico. They can set themselves up. You send them a one-click link to go and set up. They add their account. Even if they don't want to manage crypto, they can get paid directly to their bank account, essentially. And then you do a single domestic ACH or wire to put money onto your crypto wallet, and you can send all those payments. And again, with the programmable wallet technology, this never leaves Salesforce. So you can make a payment on Base or Solana basically for free and send money all over the world.
That is wonderful. Okay. And so that means that in the following months, we're going to have the possibility to use these wallets also, for example, for very standard operations in the B2B world, even inside one country. That is even a use case that makes it useful compared to a standard bank wire, even though it's not country to country, right?
Yeah. So so in terms of the cost savings, right? If you're currently taking credit cards, this is a huge cost and time savings. If you're getting a domestic wire, at this point in time, the off-ramp cost may be more than you're saving in fees. And that's the reality of where the technology is. But again, it's on the off-ramp side. So if you are paying some bills internationally or whatever in crypto, all of a sudden it makes sense, right? That's where the programmable wallet comes in. Your clients pay you in crypto. You pay out your vendors in crypto. You only have to convert to fiat whatever's left, right? So if you're spending more in crypto than you're collecting, you top it off with an ACH or a wire. And it's all beautifully simple, tracked in your transaction log. And you just add it as a, non-bank account asset account in your general ledger, and you can track all of it. So we think that it's really compelling for everyone, but what we're trying to do is just make it simpler and simpler for companies to go and adopt, even if it's for limited use cases, right? Even if 95% of my business is domestic, but 5% is international, simply making this easier. Or I want to expand sales in India, or I need to make payments in Sri Lanka. Like there are so many scenarios where Then that's really why we focus a lot on Tether, right? USDC is much more popular in the United States and Europe. Tether is USDT is much more popular globally. So they've got about parity in terms of total volume. So we support both as first-party citizens in our system.
So this is interesting that you mentioned the feud, well, the feud between USDC and USDT, but that's interesting because it's good for us to have multiple stable coins, because aside from the obvious advantage of being pegged to state issued currencies, at the moment there are regulatory shakeups in the US, notably because the Trump administration is undoing some of the previous administrations, the Biden era's regulations. Also, President Donald Trump issued his own stable coin. So, what's your take on that? Do you think that blockchain payments users are going to use regular cryptos, or mostly because it's the B2B world, stable coins, or oddities like Donald Trump's stablecoin, which has the flair of a standard crypto but the utility of a real stablecoin? I don't know where to stand about that.
The year is young. Let's see how everything plays out. But we're pretty neutral. We support regulatory certainty out of the box. Well-known stable coins. If you're not supported, you turn on or off what you're willing to accept, and you can add more of them. Like I said, so in Europe, we can't connect Tether to your bank account because of regulatory rules. So we're playing with, and do not have, this is testing to get this reliable, but we've debated, can we create a world where you can create a destination address that's for Tether on Tron, that we can then give you your URC or Circle USDC on base, and have that connect over into your account. Like, there's all these different intricacies as we work with new providers. And what our feeling is, as long as we can make it simple for you, and we can create, here's a destination address, but you record that as your inbound transaction, right? At the point I have received Tether on Tron, I mark my payment request as paid. Then I have an internal transfer to my bank account. That feels like that's an area that can work. But we really, one thing that's very important is we look at our accounting board, we talk to accounting advisors, and we make sure that whatever we're producing makes sense. So the internal transfers is probably coming later in the 3.x series, not because it's so technically difficult, it's not, but we really want to get the accounting right.
Of course. Well, the goal is to remove the hassle for all the users, and so that they don't have to focus on that and just focus on their business. That will be the last question I had. Any last word?
Yeah, one other program that is coming out hopefully later this quarter. Financial Services Cloud is the Salesforce tool that is used by banks and wealth managers. So I wanted to show you, I have a little screenshot from our upcoming Financial Services Cloud application.
Well, please do show that.
So for the Financial Service Cloud's wealth management, this is a Web3 Enabler supported digital asset wallet for Financial Services Cloud. And what you see is we are mapping assets and current market value for financial holdings. And you can notice here, Bitcoin, I forget when the screenshot was taken, but it's mark to market. We've got Circle, in there, and you see Circle is marked as a cash equivalent. Bitcoin and XRP are matched as alternative investments. Conceivably, if you have tokenized real estate, we can list it as a REIT. If you have tokenized, stocks, we can list those as equities. So we are preparing for a world where non-custodial wallets are a reality for financial advisors. And, this really works to allow them to look at your crypto holdings equally in the side, your 401k, your IRAs, your bank accounts, your life insurance, to see your entire financial holdings. So mapping it over to run as a native Salesforce Financial Service Cloud connector is very important.
How cool is that? Possibilities are endless in fintech. Thank you so much, Alex. Everyone, this was an episode of The Real World Blockchain. Our guest today was Alex Hochberger, CEO of Web3 Enabler, the app that produces blockchain payments, the first and only crypto payment solution in Salesforce, and many other CRMs soon. Cheers, Alex.
Good to see you, Gautier. Looking forward to coming back with new news.